With the WNBA season ending for many teams, there are already so many players heading overseas to play during the off-season. But with all of the drama currently surrounding the
Here's what player Gabby Williams had to say after warning the WNBA that they must improve if they want to retain international players. The W believes they don't need to pay us extra to have us here, and I don't believe I did. Declare that when I first discussed prioritization, our commissioner mentioned that we could make $700,000. But that isn't the case at all. We were promised team marketing agreements and legal marketing agreements, but they haven't been fulfilled, so it's still not enough for us international players to want to stay here. If I decide to earn more money and so on, the teams will be upset that I don't return. But that's the way it is. So yes, it's just the WNBA. If you want us to stay, you have to pay us more. That's all that means. Since that interview, less. Then a week later, Gabby is already in Istanbul, where she will be playing for the off-season. And from the sounds of this interview, it seems like she's probably going to make more money overseas in EuroLeague than she did during this WNBA season. Now, Gabby Williams is a player who came on my radar during the Olympics. She played for Team France, and this past season, she played for the Seattle Storm. Now, it's not out of the norm for WNBA players to play during the regular season and then during their off-season play overseas. This is something that has been happening for like the entirety of the WNBA. It even went as far as to 1 year in 2015. Diana Taurasi played in Russia and did not play in the WNBA. And it was never outright stated that she didn't play in the WNBA, because Russia basically put that in their contract, that if she went there, she couldn't play. But that was pretty much what everybody thought happened, because Russia paid Diana Taurasi at that time $1.5 million salary to play in Russia. Now at the time in the WNBA, the salary, like the highest salary in the league, was $117,000. So obviously that's a huge jump. Diana accepted the offer to play abroad, and she was the league's face at the time. The WNBA was not as well known as it is now, but Diana seized the chance, and I believe that as the league gains popularity and players are able to profit from brand deals and other things in addition to their celebrity, in the future, there may be more private EuroLeague teams. I could see some of these teams pursuing some of our top WNBA players, and if the financial and commercial benefits make sense, we might lose more players to play abroad, as Gabby hinted at. Here, the commissioner informed her that she could earn $700,000 by marketing in the WNBA. I'm not sure what Kathy was referring to, though, as even the highest paid P player in the league currently earns a little over $200,000 in salary, and I'm not sure what the WNBA does with its marketing budget, but it's definitely not going to add up to $700,000. Additionally, our biggest star in the league, Caitlin Clark, is only making a base salary of about $76,000 or $78,000 for this first season. She signed a 4-year contract with a little over $300,000 for her rookie salary, which is all she will earn in the WNBA. At this point, I feel like there might be a team abroad that would love to snatch Caitlin Clark away from us and make an outrageous offer. I mean, Ice Cube was going to give her $5 million to play in fewer than 10 games in the Big 3, so the money is there. And if these owners are wise with it, I could definitely see more WNBA players going overseas and possibly not coming back. There has been a lot of discussion about the difference between the WNBA and NBA salaries because, as we all know, NBA players make millions and millions of dollars. I actually made a whole video about this at the beginning of the season, and everyone was furious when they saw how much Caitlin would make during her rookie season. If you guys want a full breakdown, watch that video. When we look at the numbers, I'll just give you a quick scenario. The numbers actually make sense. It's actually not that unfair what the players are paid now. That might all change because of this season. But in the past, the only on-record revenue that I could find of the WNBA is $60 million. Now there has been rumors, there has been reports, there has been many things that say that the WNBA was projected to make $180 to $200 million in revenue for the 2023 season. But those numbers were never confirmed. I cannot find a source that confirms those numbers. The only ones I can is $60 million. Now the NBA in 2022 made around $10 billion in revenue. So if you do the math there, that is about 166 times the amount of money that the WNBA makes. Now if you take Victor Wembanyama, who was, an NBA star coming into the league, he just finished up his rookie season. He's going into his next. If you look at his rookie salary, which was around $55 million for 4 years, and then you look at Caitlin Clark's 3, and I think it was $38,000 salary that she signed for 4 years, that is about the same amount more. it's around 162 times more that Victor made than Caitlin. So if you do the math on just revenue, just what these leagues are taking in, it kind of makes sense as to why WNBA players actually don't make that much money, because we haven't been paying attention to the WNBA as much as people are now. It has been a growing league, and it has gotten better definitely over the years. I feel like the 90s. It peaked for a while, then went down and down some more because of COVID, and now it has been slowly growing again until, as we've discussed, in the Clarkomics video, there was a huge boom this season. If there hadn't been so much drama in the league, and the players weren't saying things like, "I've been over all of it, my channel isn't going to turn into a drama channel, I'm not going to just constantly be complaining about things that the WNBA has done wrong this season," but they've definitely done a lot of things wrong. I think the viewership, the numbers, and everything else could have been even higher than they were. It's really difficult to comprehend that after a few away games in all of the sellouts, Caitlin Clark asked the WNBA if they would pay spot bonuses to the away team players. She said, "Wow, we're making all this new revenue, and I would like the away team to benefit from that. Could they get a spot bonus?" That's all there is to know about Caitlin Clark. Let's look at this clip from Allison Barber, the president of the Indiana Fever. When I saw this video, it made me happy, because I'm very glad that this is now public knowledge. Like, Caitlin never talked about this through the entire season. And I'm glad that Allison came out and told us what was going on behind the scenes, but at the same time, it also made me sad because, like we've talked about in many other videos, Caitlin Clark seems like this entire season she was the solution for so many things, but so many players, coaches, media people, so many people were also painting her out to be the problem. She could never do enough. She could never speak out enough. Her fans were the issue. Fever fans were the issue. Like, there was all of this just nonsense about things that Caitlin was doing wrong, when in my personal opinion, she was doing nothing but going out there and playing great basketball every night and ignoring the hate that was coming to her from all sides, not only from fans, but from competitors, coaches, all of these people. And so the fact that she was getting all of that, yet all of these eyeballs were coming to the league because of her. They were turning the Indiana Fever was turning and away games into home games every single time that they were on the road. You even had Dallas Wings players saying, like, it kind of sucks seeing so many Indiana Fever in 2020 or 22 jerseys in the stands. But it's also cool to see a lot of people in the stands, like Indiana Fever was turning away games into home games. And so it's kind of sad that through all of that, Caitlin was still advocating for players on the other team to get bonuses because she saw the kind of money and eyeballs and viewership that all of this was generating. And so again, I'm glad that this is finally out there. And it had its little viral moment so people can see. People don't always share all of the good things that they're doing, and Clyn by no means had to do this. I'm maybe kind of glad that some players didn't get bond bonuses because of how poorly she has been treated this season, but the reason that these spot bonuses were not granted to opposing teams or whatever was also because of the CBA that is in place in the WNBA. Now, from my understanding, in a couple years, the CBA will be renegotiated again, so it will be interesting to see in a couple years if the viewership continues to trend in this direction. And, I don't know if it will continue to only be kind of a Caitlin Fever, Indiana Fever fan base that's really spiking up all the viewership, or if it will be a little bit more widespread with other teams. But if this all continues to grow, what kind of salaries will we be seeing in the WNBA, and will it be enough to keep players here? Full-time what Gabby Williams is saying about the WNBA to return to the video's initial topic. This season has been a complete mess, not only because of the drama on social media, the commissioner's inappropriate comments, the coach's firing, the refereeing, and the WNBA PA's statement that leaked the Defensive Player of the Year and Rookie of the Year awards to all the fans, attempting to give them a round of applause. I hope this serves as another